This is The Unstarving Musician. I am Rabonzo, and this is my podcast. It features conversations with independent music artists and industry professionals with occasional special topic episodes by yours truly. I'm doing more of that lately. It's a glimpse into the minds of my varied guests and lots of things I read about and do, all intended to help independent music artists better understand the marketing, business, and creative processes that empower us to do more of what we love, and that's make music. Welcome to another episode. This is episode 311. Do you know that band 311? If not, you should acquaint yourself. Go back to the early albums. They were one of my favorites. Yes, I am Rabonzo. I think I said that already. And today we're going to talk about something that might make you want to hit the skip button, money management. But just hang with me for a second. It's all going to be okay. Just take a deep breath. This episode is based on an edition of Liner Notes, the email newsletter from yours truly, in which I share some of the best knowledge, insights garnered from the many conversations featured on the podcast. You can learn from the hundreds of musicians and industry pros I've spoken with for The Unstarving Musician on topics like marketing, songwriting, touring, single licensing, and much, 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 much more. You'll also be privy to the latest podcast episodes and Liner Notes subscriber exclusives. So if you like things in writing, this is the way to go. Sign up at unstarvingmusician.com. It's free. You can unsubscribe at any time. Right, so hang with me. We're going to do some financial talk, but it's not the typical financial talk. So how are you? I forgot to ask. Where are you? What are you wearing? I forgot to ask that, right? If you're a regular, you know about my obsession with what you're wearing. So I had some shows I'm having shows recently in my acoustic ensemble whereby I sing only instead of playing drums and trying to sing. It's been fun. It's been time consuming, but it's been very fun. I have another show tomorrow night. I'm super excited. Both of them are in Querétaro, Mexico, where I live. So if you're ever out this way, check in with me before you come, and I'll try to make something happen where we can spend some time together doing music, whether you're watching me or we watch someone else. All right. So yes, we're going to do some financial talking today. I know that sounds boring. Maybe it is, but hang with me there. Most of us didn't pick up an instrument or get into music because we love spreadsheets or numbers or budgeting. And I get it. I'm still learning all this stuff. But here's the thing. Good money management isn't really about the numbers. Or at least it's not just about the numbers. It's about creating the financial freedom to make more music. So let's break this down into some practical, actionable steps that won't make your head spin or hurt. First, let's talk about the basics of budgeting. You don't need to do anything fancy. A simple spreadsheet will make it happen for you. Here's what you need to track. Categorize your expenses related to music, obviously. So we're talking gear, studio time, marketing, travel, merch, education, things like that. Set aside 25 to 30% of your music-related income for taxes. So trust me on this one. 30% is on the high end, but definitely 25. And hey, worst case scenario, you have money left over in your savings account that you're earning interest on. So just set it aside. You'll thank me later. Keep your personal and business money separate. I'm not great at this. I'm okay at it. I document stuff, so that's good. I keep all my records pretty good, so that helps. But yeah, keep them separate. Now let's talk about some essential accounting practices that will help you, that'll save you headaches later. Keep your receipts, whether it's in an app like Expensify, which is a pretty good app, by the way, or in a shoebox. It really doesn't matter. These days, I'm more of a shoebox person. Track your mileage for gigs. Every 100 miles you drive, if you think about it, is, as of this year, 2024, is about $67 in tax deductions. Here's where it gets interesting. Creating your financial safety net. Think of this as having a backup amp for your big shows or a backup pedal, whatever you play. You need an emergency fund covering 3 to 6 months of expenses. You need a gear fund where you've set aside 15 to 20% of your music income for equipment-specific emergencies. That's your livelihood. You need a project fund, so depending on what you're doing, 10 to 30% for things like videos, albums, or tours. And don't forget about insurance, both for your instruments and liability insurance. So your instruments, there are all kinds of ways you can have a loss there, right? Could be in transport, could be at a gig, or something even more tragic. And then liability, one terrible accident at a venue could be costly. Let's talk about diversifying your income streams. Remember when venue gigs disappeared overnight during the stinking pandemic, as I like to call it? That taught us all a valuable lesson about not relying on just one source of income, right? Here's some streams to consider so you can diversify. That's my Texas accent, or my Southern accent. I don't know if Texans really talk like that. They don't. I say Fort Worth sometimes. That's pretty Texan. Okay, I digress. Here's some streams to consider, just to kind of give you some framework here. So live performance income, this is venue shows, private events, even teaching and session work. Then there's digital revenue, streaming, downloads, YouTube, sync licensing. And then there's physical products. So merch, albums, special edition thingies. I'm doing a poster for a private event this weekend, and limited edition. You can buy them. You can only get them at the event, and they will be autographed by the artists performing. This is a show with 3 performing ensembles, so it'll be cool. A cool exclusive. Now, here is an approach to staying financially stable in this crazy industry we call music. Start small with 2 or 3 revenue streams. Keep business and personal money separate. And I know I said that before, but it's important. Build relationships with financial professionals, so bookkeepers, accountants, CPAs. I'm kind of a CPA guy, but it doesn't have to be, but somebody who can help you. Plan for seasonal changes. There are low seasons, high seasons, and then changes are opportunities, often like the holidays. And always have backup plans for equipment failures. Remember that every step you take toward better financial management is really an investment in your creative income. Your future and your gear collection will thank you. I guarantee it. That was some clothing store guy that said that. I guarantee it. But that's it for today's episode. See, I kept it simple. You didn't have to hit the skip button, after all. If you found this helpful, if you found this episode helpful, don't forget to subscribe or leave us a review, or both, or just share this episode with a friend. That would be amazing. And hey, if you want to support the podcast directly, and believe me, I appreciate it and really depend on it, check out the tip jar at unstarvingmusician.com/crowd sponsor, or in the show notes for this episode. It's at the top of the crowd sponsor page. It's so easy. Click tip done. Lastly, if you want to boost your online presence and support this podcast, you can visit bandzoogle.com and use the promo code ROBONZO, that's ROBONZO, to get 15% off your first year. How does this help? Bandzoogle pays us a small commission if you sign up for a paid plan, and it's at no extra cost to you. I use Bandzoogle for my artist website, robonzo.com, and the way that it helps me easily manage direct-to-fan marketing and sales with features like its commission-free store is nothing short of greatness. So again, visit bandzoogle.com, promo code ROBONZO, ROBONZO. And by the way, the music you heard at the beginning and right now is New Gods Part 2, the instrumental mix by yours truly. It was a collaboration with Peter Rand. You can hear, download, and or buy the full version with vocals by yours truly at robonzo.com, or you can stream it on all the places. If that was too much to remember or process, just go to the show notes for this episode at unstarvingmusician.com to find links to all of this and the stuff talked about in this episode. Until next time, keep making music, and remember, more cowbell always, with a whole lot of gratitude.